Samuel, can we take a look at the Mangusta?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
Tell us a little bit about this car.
Well, it's new into the showroom. It's the first Mangusta that we've had. We've sold many a Tomaso and Terra, but this is the first Mangusta. It's a 1969 built car.
Okay.
So it's quite early in the production stage. They didn't make many, around 401 I believe is the official number. Allian steel body. They made them for a production run of about 4 years. This car was built in '69. I mean, it's quite almost a concept-looking car.
It is.
In some respects.
It's quite futuristic in a way for its time.
Can you imagine in the late '60s
seeing one of these on the road? I mean, this is the first one I've ever seen. I've never seen one on the road, but you can imagine. Yeah,
they're rare. They're a rare car.
Yeah.
They could and quite forgotten about compared to, say, the Pantera, the successor.
Yeah.
I mean, it's as you know that they're famed for the sort of gullwing engine bay doors.
Yes.
It's a mid-engine V8. It's almost. I mean, you can see the rear wheels. It's almost drag-esque.
That's right.
Big rear tyres.
I mean, its proportions are very much like the Miura. You know,
yeah, well, it's quite low. It's only 43 inches high.
That's right.
And it remained 43 inches high throughout the globe. It never changed for different Fed specs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
This car has only 2 owners.
Okay.
It's been in Arizona its whole life. It was shipped to the US when new.
Okay.
It's an early car. I mean, even the colour's pretty wacky and out there.
Yes.
It's mid-engine V8. And it's the Tomaso badged Ford 302.
Right, okay.
So it develops about 320 horsepower when new.
Okay.
All to the rear, no driving aids.
Sure.
It's just on and off.
And when it was new, what were the performance specs? What did they quote?
I'm not sure what its quarter mile is. I'm sure we can get some details put forward to you. But developing at 320 horsepower, it's quite heavy to drive.
Sure.
It was, it probably looks faster than it actually really is.
So not lightning acceleration.
No,
today's standards.
It's very punchy though.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost muscle car.
Sure.
Yeah, it looks Italian. It looks all flary and exotic.
Yeah.
But beneath that exterior, it's all muscle.
Have you had it dynoed to see what?
No, we haven't. We've literally, it is fresh off the press. You're the first people to see it.
Wow.
In actual fact, there isn't even a photograph in the showroom of the car yet.
Is there a buyer for it yet?
No, there isn't. No, we haven't. It's top secret.
Okay.
So it arrived last week.
Wow.
It's just been registered in the UK. So it's we'll be finding its first European buyer.
So an exclusive right there, guys.
It's an exclusive, yeah, that's an exclusive. So it's due to launch. It launches on Monday.
Yeah.
So if someone wants to buy before it goes live, you know where it's at.
Can we take a closer look for the viewers?
Yeah, of course.
Just look at some of the design details and just the Italian flair.
So as I said, I mean, as you can see, the interior it's all very Italian. Sure. Trims in leather.
Yeah.
But when you actually look closely, read between the lines, it's actually quite basic.
May I?
Yeah, of course. So yeah, jump on in.
Earlier on we were talking about how easy it is to get in and out of cars. Let's see what this one's like.
This isn't too bad. It's the height.
Yeah. Again, it's a case of dropping yourself in, and it's
tucked in.
It's typically Italian. It's design over practicality in a certain degree. I mean, you can see the offset of the pedals. You drop in, and the pedals are offset to the right, so you're actually driving the car sitting at an angle. Reasonably logical layout of the dials, although you can't see some of them from where you are. And you can't adjust the steering on this, can you? So that it's fixed.
You can't adjust much at all.
No.
You can flick a toggle switch.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
That's about it.
It's got the dogleg box, simple H-gate, no nonsense, in or out.
Yeah.
And away you go. You sort of strap yourself right onto that engine there.
But I mean, these seats are fixed and pretty much bolt upright. So there's one driving position that everyone needs to kind of get used to in this thing. And it's just kind of showing its age, a few little bits and pieces that need tightening up. But that's part of the character of these things, But there's a real nostalgic sense being in this car. The smell, the feel, the tactility.
Sanjay, it's old. That's the one. You know, that's what we're forgetting. It looks newish. It looks all concept modern, space agey.
Absolutely.
But in reality, this is built in the late 60s.
No, that's right. Yeah.
The swinging 60s. I mean, this caused the stir.
Yeah.
It was.
The swinger's car.
There you go.
Absolutely.
There you go. You wouldn't. The thing is, if you're owning one of these, you know, it's not going to be often that you will park next to another. Yeah, you can turn up in all your bits and bobs, but you bring this to a show, you're probably not going to see another one at the show.
Okay, so getting out is a challenge if you have long legs, because you can't actually get your feet onto the ground. But yeah, I mean, just looking at some of the details on the design details on this thing, you know, the fixed wing mirrors, which are so small. You can probably only see the wheel arch out of that, but that again, it's part of the character. You know, it's about outrageous design. It's about how the car looks rather than necessarily dealing with all the practical issues that, quite frankly, was left to the Germans. You know, Porsche do that very well. You know, the Italians don't necessarily need to do that because they produce things that just look stunningly gorgeous like this.
Perhaps we can open the
yeah, let's have a look at the engine bay. So again, you know, the theme is a lack of convention. I mean, this how unconventional can you get with an engine bay like this? You've got the hinge over the centre of the engine, and you've got the spare wheel in front of the engine, and behind the radiator. It's all kind of packed into one area. There's the boot right there, so it's kind of one bay that serves them all. But you know, you can see the structure of the engine of the car. They just don't make cars like this anymore. They don't design them like this anymore. You know, it's cars today have to adhere to very strict regulations. So you can't even design bumpers like this. You can't design lines like this, and you can't have the lights at a certain height above the ground anymore, and so on and so on. So the elegance of this detail, it just wouldn't exist anymore today, unless it was a concept car, like you said. But this has that real concept feel to it, doesn't it? So.
And obviously concept cars are quite, they don't go into production because they're not practical.
Sure.
You know, it's all about pen and the design.
Yeah.
Whereas this was actually a production car.
Sure.
This is the one that sort of crossed the boundaries.
But they could get away with that back then because the regulations weren't as stringent as they are today. Today, you have a concept car and it looks fantastic, you know, and it really does look, you know, fantastical. Because that's what it's there to do. It's there as like a design test bed, knowing full well that they can't fill the wheel arches with rubber band tyres like you see on the drawings, you know, because practically you can't do that, and legally they can't pass the regs on that sort of thing. Let's hear this thing fire up. Are you ready? So I hope you enjoyed that review. Thank you to Samuel Laurence for having us here and showing us this amazing beast. We'll be reviewing some more of the amazing cars next time, so stay tuned, subscribe, and check out the reviews, the road test, and the photographs that are coming up as well. And please check out our friends Motor Middle East and the Bosch Hazard Sheikh. We hope to come and see you soon. Keep it locked, keep it real, dare to dream.